Well, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. We're talking Raw. Get a chance to do it last night. Kind of stuff going on here in Canada with all a bunch of stuff. You all know what it is. Anyway, and congratulations to who the winner was, election. But hey, we're not here to talk about that. We're not here to talk politics. You know, sometimes it does creep in a little bit. But hey, it's DA Wrestling. We're talking Raw. I'm Andrew. Let's have some talks. All right, on today's show, we're talking SAMI, Bright Breaker, and Rollins, because that's interesting as hell. Oh, and we're sprinkling a little Heyman in there too. Right? We're talking Rhea, Io, Giulia, Roxanne Perez. Wonder what's going on with that stuff there. Right? We're going to talk also Pat McAfee challenging Gunther. We're also going to talk Lyra back here and Becky because we found out who attacked Bayley. Like it was kind of obvious. And a whole lot more. Because we're not going to mention the lady who I am a fan of. Anyway, before we get started here, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe down below here. We appreciate all the support we do. Subscription button should probably pop up on this side right here. Probably already did. We'll talk to you then. Make sure you follow us also on Podbean and as well as Spotify. That's where we are there. All those, and we'll get to all those things later on too. Anyway, let's get started on this thing. We're going to talk obviously right away with the Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Braun Breaker stuff. Because by the looks of it now, judging by what I saw last night on Raw, now this is just strictly my opinion on it. If you have another opinion on it, please comment down below. But is it not me, or is this whole thing with Seth Rollins like eerily similar to 2020, 2019, late 2019, early 2020, Seth Rollins, the Messiah thing, Messiah gimmick he did? But this time, he's not using the whole term Messiah. He's using it more as like a dangerous alliance, almost like a cross between evolution thing. Because tell you about how he was talking, it was sounded a lot like Messiah stuff, especially when Sami Zayn came out, right, and said, "Don't make me do this to you." Right? I don't want to do this to you. He talked about how Sami, he's known Sami for years. They talk, their kids play together, all this thing. The wives meet together. They know each other for over 20 years. And Sami's like, "You're right. All that stuff you just said is true." But then he says, "You think I'm going to back down? You got another thing coming." So he says, "Don't make me do this. Come back at the end of the night. We'll talk about this." And he comes back at the end of the night. Same thing occurs. In response to this, he tells Sami, "Well, enough's enough. Right? I'm not going to leave." He gave an ultimatum. He said, "Go to SmackDown. We'll get you a world title match. Paul Heyman can pull some strings." Sami's not going to run. He's like, "I'm not going to do that. I've never once done that to you. You know this over the years." And this brings out Braun Breaker. They have a Braun Breaker has a match with Sami Zayn that night. Sami gets ready to go. And Braun Breaker basically, it was back and forth match. Sami put a lot of offense in. Right, nearly had him a few times. They did battle for the IC title last year, kind of around the same time, right? Which ended up leading to Braun Breaker with the IC title at SummerSlam, right? After they met in Toronto for Money in the Bank, right? But Braun Breaker this time speared the living crap out of Sami Zayn several times. The point where he needed a super spear, right? While all the office guys are around trying to get Sami out of there. Eventually, the referee calls the matchup. They're all trying to help out. Rollins the entire time was staring like, "I don't want this to happen. I can't believe this is going on. I'm just, I want to." That's the way he was acting. And then at the end of the night, to close out the show, he stomped the hell out of Sami. Basically saying, "If you're not with me, you're against me." So it's very eerily similar to the Messiah stuff that went on. Except this time they're not trying to take out Rey Mysterio's eye. Look at that. Coming back around. To be honest with you, this is registering a little bit better with me this time too. The Messiah stuff to me was kind of like, oh, he thinks he's Jesus. Still kind of thinks he's Jesus, but it's different. Like it's more of a leader thing, right? Or like oh, for the Simpsons, the leader. Oh, the leader's great and wonderful. Turns out it was a guy who just wanted money. Lived in a shack. Yeah, that episode. Simpsons, little Simpsons pop culture right there, folks. There you go. But we're going to see how this occurs here. Obviously, Sam got laid out there, right? This is probably going to lead to a match. I don't know if it's going to lead to a match of Backlash because that card seems to be filling up a little bit. Considering the way these B pay-per-views tend to be more shorter as far as like matches go. Better, good quality matches, but shorter, shorter amount of matches on the card. So I don't know if we're going to get this Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins there, but I just see what goes on there. Because Paul Heyman now is like acting more like even like an advocate. Like he did with CM Punk, like he did with Brock Lesnar. He ain't no really wise man. I mean, he's still considered a wise man. But you look at where Paul Heyman, like Heyman, it's like Heyman's new Dangerous Alliance. We called it like last week, right? It's like his Dangerous Alliance. Interesting. It really is. More to come on this stuff too. I'm looking forward to it. I actually like how this is going. Moving on. Rhea Ripley faced Roxanne Perez on Raw last night. For months I've been saying Roxanne Perez is probably with Ray Ross. It hasn't happened yet. Like no official really wording of it. I mean, they did miss her. I mean, I missed it one day. I don't know. But it looks like they are moving her to the main roster. It looks like she's gonna be more fundamentally on Raw. She had a match with Rhea Ripley there, a good match back and forth. And by the way, has anybody noticed recently that as much as I'm not against it. I'm just saying Rhea Ripley's wearing more or less just like a bikini nowadays down the ringside. I just want to point that one out. Like, I'm not against it by any means. I'm just saying, let's call it a spade here, right? But overall, it's a great match there, back and forth. A lot of people are cheering. Oh, this is awesome! This is awesome! And because it was really good, right? Roxanne Perez is one of those people who's probably eventually going to win that world title at some point soon. When I can't tell you, don't know. I don't want to make a date on it because then if it doesn't happen, I look wrong, stupid. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's around SummerSlam, right? But what's interesting about it though too is that the match was called off after a bit when Giulia showed up. Now, I don't know what's going on with Giulia. Are they moving Giulia to the main roster? Because it seems like that's what their plan is, to move Giulia to the main roster now. She won the NXT title. She's only really been NXT for a few months. And now it's almost like they're moving to the main roster. I know, honest though, I don't like kind of where this is going with her right now. Obviously, going to have that match with Stephanie Fakir in NXT, right, which is going on tonight. I haven't watched NXT yet, so we'll probably do that video tomorrow. But right, Io Sky even came out too and helped Rhea Ripley because she was getting beaten down by Giulia and Roxanne. It seems like that's a thing now between Roxanne and Giulia. I don't know where that came from. Maybe just a hatred for Stephanie Fakir. I don't blame them. If I was them, I'd probably dislike Stephanie Fakir too because she's really, really pretty, very, very popular, right? And she puts on a lot of really good matches. Not saying Giulia doesn't, by any means. I'm just saying she is. Yeah, common goal here. They all want the title. Could be one woman. But so Giulia and Rhea Ripley got beat. Giulia. So maybe rephrase that. Rhea Ripley got beat down by Giulia and Roxanne Perez. When in return, Io Sky showed up to help out Rhea Ripley, right? And later on in the night, Rhea Ripley confronted Io Sky about it. Right? She says, "I didn't need your help." He was like, "You look like you did." And she's like, "We're even." So who knows how far that's going to go now. But Io Sky versus Julia doesn't sound like a bad idea. Io Sky versus, Julia doesn't sound like a really bad idea at all. You know, who knows how they're going to play this more? Maybe it does. Maybe they do a match at Backlash between Rhea and Io versus Julia and Roxanne Perez, or maybe they just do it on Raw. No, no. But it looks like that's where they're kind of going right now with some of these things here, right? But comment down below: you think Julia is on the main roster? Because I don't recall them ever saying that. Now, granted, Julia still has to have her solo rematch against Stephanie Fakir for the NXT title because she is entitled to that, right? But if she does lose, are they just going to move her to the main roster and move her to there to Raw? Because that's what it looks like they're doing right now is moving her to Roxanne to Raw. Because obviously that draft is coming up, so it's not very far away. It's pretty far, maybe it is far away, but I gotta take a look and see what the dates are. But right now, it seems like that's Julia will probably move to the main roster. At least that's how it's looking. It could just be a temporary thing just to get a storyline going. But right now, that's what's going. Speaking of Cedric here, since we're on the $70 stuff on NXT women right now, I was gonna talk about this later. But hey, Cedric here ended up having a match with Ivy Nile, and I honestly gotta tell you, this is probably the best match we've seen Ivy Nile do, and you could tell in a very long time. And you could tell right now that Ivy Nile they want to push Ivy Nile a little bit more. Granted, she lost to Cedric here, but it was a hell of a good match back and forth, cheering back. This is awesome. Several times she had been doing the Devil's Kiss on her. I think it was twice. One time, one time Ivy Nile did reverse it, right, which was cool, right. This is what I want to be seeing, though. Ivy Nile is fantastic. She's a great wrestler, right? Just needs more of a thing. Maybe get her away from this whole maybe American Alpha stuff or American Made stuff. Maybe get that away because I don't think it's just working. I don't think it's registering that well, right? The Creeds are basically a joke, except for the occasional time when they let them perform. Ivy Nile, when you let them perform, can do a hell of a good job, right? Chad Gable, in my opinion, doesn't need this. He's doing the El American Grande stuff, El Grande Americano, which is stupid to me. Still, just have him beat Chad Gable and put the title on him. You know, like the guy deserves it. He's busted his butt for years. Seriously. But take a look at it. Like, go watch Stephanie Fakir versus Ivy Nile match. It was a hell of a good match, right? Stephanie Fakir ended up winning with the SVP or SVBP, whatever one it is, right? Excellent back and forth match, though. Very, very good. Really showed off Ivy Nile. Really showed off Stephanie Fakir. And you cannot deny Stephanie Fakir's popularity and how she has registered with everybody, right? Yes, she's a beautiful woman, right? But she's a hell of a good wrestler, very, very talented, and she seems to have registered very, very well with the WWE Universe, which is great to see. It really is. Moving on. Pat McAfee is challenging Gunther at Backlash for what happened in response to what happened last week on Raw when he got choked out by Gunther and but Pat McAfee made this huge speech, stood up on the table, talk about how he's still guy, he can do all these things, right? If you go at a friend of mine, you're gonna get me in return, right? All those things. About how he praised Michael Cole, all this stuff there. Called out Nick Aldis, because Nick Aldis was actually being the interim general manager of Raw for the evening because Postman Pierce was away. And they made the match. He wanted Gunther to be unsuspended, right? He wanted to fight Gunther. They said, I can't do that. Right? You're too much of a liability. But I can give you a sanction match at Backlash. And they agreed. Gunther's suspension has been lifted, apparently. And at Backlash, you're going to have Gunther versus Pat McAfee. I'm here expecting Pat McAfee to get the crap living crap kicked out of him, or they're going to have him go over on Gunther. I prefer you not to have him go over Gunther. Unless there's more to the story that we're going to let that play out, but who knows? As of right now, I would say don't let it go over Gunther. Seriously, that to me just makes no sense. But if it would make sense to me though if you have a bigger thing to do with Gunther here, and please don't make it be like one of those happy Corbin crap. So really dislike the fact that they took took Baron Corbin, the Lone Wolf, which was an awesome gimmick with an awesome music, and they turned him into Happy Corbin. Yeah, just dumb as hell. Anyway, moving on to we now. Becky Lynch comes out, and she decided she wanted to talk about who attacked Bayley, why they attacked Bayley. She admitted that it was her that beat up Bayley and took her out of the match. Check in Bayley versus Becky Lynch at some point. So Becky comes down and explains the reason why. Goes, it's funny. All you people out there, right? For years, Bayley's been kicking the crap out of me and all that stuff. The one time I do it, it's a problem. It was a different Bayley, though, right? Also different Becky Lynch. You know, talk about how live I could never fill her shoes too. And in return response to this, Lyra Valkyria came out and have a little face to face, which Toronto turned into a fight, but Becky didn't want to fight her. So Lyra Valkyria says, "I don't look up to you at all anymore. Right? If you want to do this, the last time we had a match to each other, I took your title, NXT title. It's not wrong. We did a video on it a while back. Anyway, Becky Lynch says, I'm not going to wrestle you. There's no point. What's the hell point? Lyra goes, well, we are going to have a match, right? But the only way this match is going to happen, because I know you're not going to do it unless the title's on the line. And in return, I want the title. I'll put the title on the line. Becky's like, you got it. Fine. Backlash. So either they're going to either take the title, have Lyra right here and beat Becky again, or Becky is going to take the title from Lyra Valkyria and turn that title into something more important. Because let's be honest here, the title of the Intercontinental title for the women's division has been floundering a little bit, right? It wasn't on WrestleMania, right? It's not defended all the time, like it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a workhorse title, right? That's how the Intercontinental title has been proclaimed and positioned for years. They haven't been doing that. And if that's what they're going to do to make this title more prestigious, then I'm all for Becky Lynch being live back here. Or, crazy idea here, why don't you just push Lyra Valkyria a lot more? But I do like the fact, though, too, that Lyra is kind of done putting the whole I'm happy to be here crap. Because that's kind of what it seemed like for a little bit. Even with Becky, when she first came to the main roster, it was like, I'm just happy to be here. That seems to be gone. Good. Because that was the one my one complaint about Lyra here. She's a good wrestler. She's a very pretty girl, right? The gimmick's not really what I like, but I do like where she's going with it. I just found she was too happy to be there. And now we're at that point now where she's the IC champion. Let's start doing this stuff more, right? If you want to put her over Becky to make her a bigger name, great. If you want to give the title on to Becky and have Lyra be like that chasing champion, and Becky makes that title more prestigious where the win is bigger, and she regains the title again at say SummerSlam or Money in the Bank, great. Super duper. Or Clash of the Castle. Because maybe that's what their plan is. Because I believe, if I'm correct, it's either in England or Scotland again. Or maybe it's Ireland. No. I think it's in England. So, or Wales. Maybe one of those places. Well, it's one of those places. I think I believe I'm correct. It's actually somewhere in the UK. Right? But we're going to do that, then fine. I'm cool with that then. But let's push this IC title for the women's division here, right? We've been pushing a lot of the US title of the women's division too. Right? We just had a title change there, right? With Selena Vega winning on Friday. So why not do it here with the IC title? Especially if it's going to make it better. Right? Although, as much as I like Selena Vega winning the US title, I was kind of okay with it being on Chelsea Green. She's doing a great job, in my opinion. As long as you do move more with Selena Vega, cool. Even better. All right. We also got a little promo from Rusev, who talked about how he almost did like a very similar Redeemer gimmick. Very similar Redeemer thing here. So it looks like that's kind of like where they're going to go with it, just not calling it the Redeemer stuff. You know, we talked about how like he had a flight that wasn't really his, right? He had a woman that wasn't really his. You know, he fell down the abyss, came out of the abyss, and found himself. Yeah, basically doing the Redeemer gimmick, but in WWE. Hopefully, it comes out better. We'll find out. Oh, I did make our daily carrying cross. I think carrying cross did say you need to win, Sam. Me. And that's kind of left. It's a little court thing, like Sam. You know, hopefully, do more carrying cross. I really do feel they should push the guy to the moon. Right? Obviously, Money Bank is coming around here. Sami Zayn did mention too that he's going to win the world title at some point. So maybe one of those two guys win the Money Bank. Who knows? Also, we did have the new no, that was the new. Yeah, we did have a New Day match. No, they sat down there. Some of the War Raiders New Day. To be honest, it wasn't really much. I didn't pay attention to that much. It's kind of bothered me a little bit. Sorry about that. Right. Other than that, guys, there wasn't much else really to talk about on Raw there. It kind of went pretty good, pretty fast. Right? The biggest parts were more important. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much the show for the night there. We appreciate you very much there. Right? Make sure you like, share, subscribe on down below on Podbean, as well as on YouTube, as well as on Spotify. Right? First, follow us on shows like AMP1982 on X, DLines1981, and of course, DA Wrestling, or DA Sports, or DA Wrestling on X. Also, we are on TikTok there, right? Just post videos of there, show, let you know what we have our new content out as well, too, right? With a nice little poster for what we did for there. DA Sports on TikTok. Thank you very much, guys. Anyway, thanks a lot, man. That's the Raw recap in a nutshell, right? Canadian content guys here. We appreciate it all. Have some good one, guys. Look out for NXT. That's probably coming soon, too. Or some news. Who knows? Later. Bye-bye.